coming out of high school, I didn't really want to go to college because I didn't like school. So I started as like a wash boy at a body shop.
And then since you've been in the academy in 9 months, how many have you bought?
I am on number 5.
Bro.
So I've done...
Killing it, man. In 9 months, brother, how much have you grown your net worth with those 4 properties, man?
Probably close to $500,000.
Welcome to the New American Dream podcast. I got one of my amazing students on today. How you doing today, Chris?
We're doing great. I'm very excited to be here and can't wait to continue my journey with you guys.
Man, I'm excited for you to be on here too, man. Like you've done great in the community. You're always giving back, man, and I appreciate you for that, brother. So tell everybody where you're from.
I am from a small town in Michigan called Hemlock. I grew up in Freeland, Michigan, which is about 10 minutes from Hemlock. And once we graduated from high school and stuff, met my wife in high school, and we lived in Freeland for a little bit. And then we decided to find a little chunk of property and build our house we wanted to stay in forever in Hemlock. And that's where we are currently. And just kind of going through the day-to-day stuff, getting through life. And then that's when I found you guys and everything's starting to change.
Man, so you grew up in a little rural town and so did you grow up like was your family wealthy or how did you grow up?
No, I would say that we were probably middle class. My dad had a good job. My mom had a pretty good job. We never really struggled with anything, but we didn't have, luxurious stuff and did all this stuff all the time. Just a normal childhood, typical. We weren't poor, but we weren't rich. We were in the middle somewhere.
Yeah. No, that's good, man. So what got you into real estate?
Well, it kind of coming out of high school, I didn't really want to go to college because I didn't like school. So I started as like a wash boy at a body shop, and I really liked it there. So I kind of just went under a wing of one of the body men, and he taught me everything to know about body work. So that was kind of my college. And then I just continued through the wash boy to body men. And I did that forever, but we had always talked about, kind of, I feel like everybody does, like, oh, we should get into real estate. We should buy houses, do this, this, and this, because it doesn't really ever go down in value, but like the normal person, you just never do it. So finally, about 2 years ago, I had back surgery and I really couldn't do my body job anymore.
Right.
So I'm like, we got to figure something out. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. We're going to do real estate. So we actually were with a different academy before I found yours. And I had always watched you on Facebook. And you see so many things out there and you're like, is this true? Is this for real? Is it a scam? Are they going to take your money? And like I said, we finally did that other one, and that one kind of didn't really pan out. And then, you know what? I watched you guys some more, and I'm like, you know what? I told my wife, we're just going to jump in. We're taking a leap of faith here. And it's really the best thing we've ever done. There's just so much knowledge in the academy, and that's kind of watching you was what fully made me jump into real estate. But we just kind of always wanted to do it, but like most people, you don't.
Man, Chris, that really gives me chills because oh man, I struggle so much in life, man. And I finally made it, man. I just wanted to get back to people, and you said a few things that really resonated with me. It was that you didn't want to go to college, but did your parents support that, or did they feel like you needed to go?
No, they really supported whatever I wanted to do, but basically they said, if you're not going to college, you're getting a job. You're not just going to basically live at home for free and be a bum.
Yeah, no, that's good, man. That's good.
Basically ever since high school, it's just hustling in a different way, and whatever needs to get done, whatever needs to get paid, I've just always made it work. But that also gets old too. So when you can bring that hustle now to real estate, you can really get stuff done. And in the end, like I told my wife, like you always say, 5 years, and we can pretty much probably do whatever we want from there on out.
And so one of the things that I really just want to ask you, man. So you did a mentorship with somebody else.
Yep.
And you said it didn't work out. Like, what was it that's so much different about what we do versus the other one you were in?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't, I guess, not necessarily work out. I just feel like not knowing anything about real estate and then going to that one, I feel like I almost got to where I knew everything I could know in that academy. And with you guys, there's just so much knowledge in there. I mean, I learn stuff every single day. Even though I'm working every single day, I always have something, one of the Zoom calls going, playing on my phone. And you guys just, I mean, I don't want to say hold your hand, but you pretty much hold your hand. I mean, anything that you need, any step of the way, you guys are there for you. There's really, honestly, if somebody's looking to do this, there's no way to fail if you join this academy, other than you just not wanting to do it.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's that's the thing. I don't want to do it for nobody, but we will hold your hand. We'll give you everything that you need. Because my mission is to help 10 million people become millionaires. And I believe that that's not going to happen directly through me, but that's going to happen through, like, the knowledge I share with you. You're going to share that with other people. You're going to share that with other people. And so, you know, if we share in abundance, and that's why we don't do upsells. We don't do, oh, you want to learn this? Like, nah, man. Like, you're in, man. I wanted to build a strong community. And it takes a lot of people to, you know, run this, man. We got over 20 people on the team, and we got Jarius, we got Donald, and, you know, Jarius is just, he's amazing, man. Jarius, but we literally got over 1,000 people. We got 2,600 students in there, right?
Right.
And you guys help each other.
Yeah.
Which is amazing, because when you guys start to learn, and then it's like, I can't always chime in, or Jarius can't, but Chris is chiming in, right? And then we all know it's just like, man, if you ask for help, like, you get attacked with help. It's like, where else can you get that, man? And, you know, I used to pay, I mean, it's like having hundreds of consultants all over the country to help you. And now you've become a consultant to people, free consultant, man. So thank you for everything you do, brother. And I'm really glad that you got a wife and parents that really supported you, man. And so,
yes, definitely.
You know, I think you had one property before you started.
Yep.
And then you just joined. How long have you been in the academy?
I joined right before the meetup in Cincinnati. So I think I've been in there maybe 9 months, 10 months.
Yeah, like April. And then so you had one property before. When did you buy that first property?
I bought that in October of 23.
And then since you've been in the academy in 9 months, how many have you bought?
I am on number 5.
Bro.
So I've done...
Killing it, man.
We've done 4 since we started the academy.
Dude, and listen, man, all I tell people is this: stay focused, Chris. Please, man.
We are. I always tell my
don't go say, you're going to see bigger deals that look like you can make bigger money. Go become a multimillionaire first. Then we'll deal with that. Please, man. I see so many people, they come in the academy, they start crushing it, they get 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units, and they don't follow the plan that I have for you. And I'm not saying you got to follow it to a T, but don't go saying, oh, man, you know, I want to do a restaurant, or, hey, man, I want to go buy. Like, just do what's working. Like, what you're doing is working, and you're becoming really good at it, right?
Yep, it's definitely working. And like I said, eventually I want to probably get to bigger stuff, but I'm sticking to I'm trying to get to 30 doors. Probably, I'm trying probably 2 to 3 years. And then...
And I tell people 5 years, and people think... And you say, and I tell people, you can do it in 2 or 3, right?
Yeah.
And you can do that without killing yourself too, right?
Oh, yeah. It just keeps getting easier. I mean, I've got such a crew built now on my team that I've been posting stuff in the big group now that people updated, you know, throughout the day. But I mean, when you get everybody working in a fluent motion together, I mean, you can knock these things out real quick.
You can.
Were
you on a training that we did yesterday morning at all?
The one with Caden?
Yeah.
I was watching it last night. I wasn't live because I did have a lot going on yesterday, but I'm through in like an hour and a half of it. I got to finish it up tonight.
Was that helpful at all?
Oh, yeah. The numbers definitely help and stuff. Because I was kind of watching that actually and putting it with what I'm doing just to see where I'm at. And I'm actually really comparable. Some stuff I actually do have lower. So I was pretty happy about that.
That's awesome, brother. And that's why I tell people, like, how it's cheap. I'm like, nah, man, I'm not going with the cheapest. I'm going with what I think is realistic, because If I want to go cheap, I can. The problem is it costs me time.
Right.
And when I first started, I didn't have money, so I had to go cheap. But then it costs you more time. Now with these guys, it's scalable. Pay, go. That's why we can do that project. You know, that project would take somebody 12 to 18 months to do, that big one that we're working on, right?
Oh yeah. I could see that for sure.
We can get that done in 60 days.
Yep.
And that project there will create at least $400,000 in equity. Pay the second property, right?
Yeah.
So
that's phenomenal.
Yeah, and so look, man, people are like, oh, if I had a dad like you, I could do it too. Like, if you can't do it without a dad like me, you can't do it with a dad like me. I can make it easier, but ultimately, the same stuff I've given Caden is what I give everybody in the academy. And that's where Caden really learned from. Now, yes, I am there. Yes, I help him with money. But the same, you know, I didn't have a dad like that. So if you don't have a dad like that, you must become that dad. And you're becoming that dad. In 9 months, brother, how much have you grown your net worth with those 4 properties, man?
Probably close to $500,000.
For those of you that don't know what that means, is that he's created that much equity. That's not assets. He probably had to buy $1.4 million in assets to probably buy $1.2 million, $1.4 million in assets to get the $500,000.
Yeah, just right around there. Yep, about 1.1 ish.
So 1.1 is he only owes $600 on that, meaning that he has a $500,000 net worth. Now, Chris, before you got into real estate, body shop, what were you making, man?
Maybe 65, 70 a year.
65, 70,000 a year.
Before taxes.
Before taxes. Now look, you take 500,000 divided by 9, man, that's 50,000 a month, man. That's over 50,000 a month. So you're making in 1 month what you were making in a whole year.
Yep, and it just keeps going up.
And it's going to go up.
And they're paying for the rent, the appreciation, and
that's amazing, brother.
Crazy.
That is amazing, man.
Like you were saying that people don't have you as their dad, but realistically, you're the whole group's dad. You've built the foundation for us, and they say they don't have money, but anywhere in that academy, you can find money. Anywhere in that academy, you can find anything you want. So
we teach you to be investable, man. Once you're investable, brother, there's money in the academy. I mean, there's people that have given me, that have invested $500,000. There's people in there with money. I mean, we got doctors, we got lawyers, we got people that have sold their private equity groups. There's a lot of money in there. But if you're not investable, nobody's going to invest with you. And when I say investable, that doesn't mean that you got to come from a wealthy background. Doesn't mean that your parents. What it means is that people see that you are going to knock stuff out and that you are serious about this. How do they know you're serious? Because you're knowledgeable, because you're on the coaching calls. Now, you don't have to be on all of them. That's a lot of coaching calls. We got 4, 5, 6 a week. But you're on there. You're active in the community. You're asking questions. You're answering questions. People know, okay, hey, man, he knows what he's doing, and he's a hustler. He's getting deals done. So people say, man, how did you go from doing a body shop, 65,000 to being a body man, making 65 grand a year? And I mean, look, that's just getting by everybody, because after taxes, he probably walked away with 50, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's $1,000 a week, man. You can't live off that, man. That's hard as heck, man, to raise a family off $1,000 a week, man. Especially now, bacon. I mean, anytime you go out to eat, it's like you go to McDonald's with your family, and they're like, $43. I'm like, whoa, where's the dollar menu at, man? Like we don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
And so, how did you come up with the money to buy a property and then buy another property? Because some people don't understand what the BRRRR method is.
Yeah, well, my situation's probably a little different than some, but what actually ended up happening is we jumped into it. Obviously, I didn't know anything about real estate at the time, so I didn't even know what hard money was or it was even a thing. So once I found out who I was going to work with my hard money, I had to come up with a down payment that we didn't have, and we ended up going with one of my wife's clients. Her husband is pretty big into real estate in the area. And when he grew up, he didn't have any help with anything, and he was really looking to help out somebody. Well, he ended up turning out they have a fair amount of money, and he has actually become my private money lender now. So he funded our first deal, and then he funded our second deal, and then we've just been moving forward with him. And actually, the property that I just bought right now, he's funding the whole deal. So I took hard money right even out of it, so I have none of those fees even. So I've kind of gotten lucky in that way, but I'm not saying that the average person couldn't do it. You just
Chris,
have to look.
you didn't become lucky. You became investable. So before you went to him, he asked you questions, right?
Yep.
He interviewed you. He had to feel
Basically,
like you were
it was like a job.
Yeah, like what did he ask you? Pretty much.
Basically, he asked me why I needed the money, what I'm going to do with the money, and basically my plan of action throughout the whole project on what I'm going to do with his money. And then in the end, what is my exit strategy to get him his money back?
Now, did you put that in the spreadsheet that we got to show him?
I didn't end up using your spreadsheet just because I didn't know, how much. I didn't want to, throw the spreadsheet around out there. But I basically took the spreadsheet and basically made my own number sheet, and we laid everything out together and basically gave him my plan. And then from my plan, where we're going to go to the next. And then,
Chris, I think if you show him that level of detail in that spreadsheet, he'll understand big picture, and you'll be surprised. That spreadsheet, he may be really impressed because you may know more or think about it deeper than he ever has.
Right.
Not saying that's true, but a lot of people that I know, they got 20, 30, 50 million of real estate. When I show them the spread, they're like, what? I never knew the maker's schedule. I never looked at so the things that we look at are just different, man. So what I'm really training you guys to do is look at it like billionaires do. But I'm doing that on a single family level. And I think that's why you guys are so smart and powerful together as a unit.
Right.
But Chris, give yourself credit, man. You became investable. You were able to answer the questions. You were able to say the sources and uses, here's what I'm going to use it for. And you probably had it broken out. I wasn't going to say, I'm just going to remodel the house. You're going to say, I need this much for that, this much for that, this much for that, this much for that, right? And he understood.
Exactly.
Well, if you need $12,000 for the kitchen, that's going to add $25,000 in value. That's a good source of funds for that property. So you got 4 properties in 9 months. What are you working on right now? Anything else under contract?
Right now I got the big one I'm doing that I've been sharing in the group, and then I'm actually looking at buying another one, a flip right now with my brother, because he's been watching me now. He wants to jump in because he's been on the sidelines also. So I might do a flip with him, and then I actually have 5 more properties in my area that are basically, I don't want to say waiting for me, but waiting for me. They said basically I can buy them when I'm ready. So I pretty much got my next 5. Brother. My next 5 are lined up, but that way I just don't have to worry about, 5 things going at once, because I'm not quite there yet to run 5 properties probably at one time. So
you think you can run 2 at a time?
Yeah, my last 2 I did at the same time. So I could do 2 for sure. And I got this bigger one right now, but I could probably do 3, but I mean, it's working out how I'm doing it. So I'm just going, I put those under contract. Basically, there's just not a purchase date, so nobody else can buy them out from underneath me. And then they're basically just sitting there. I know my next job is waiting, and I just really haven't had to go out and look for them currently.
Man, that's awesome, brother. So by this time next year, you anticipate you'll be at least halfway to your goal. You'll have 14, 15 units done.
That's my goal by the end of next year, to be somewhere between the 13 and 16 mark is what I'm hoping for.
And so your net worth will have probably grown, $1.3 million, $1.5 million probably.
Yeah, I should be over that $1 million by then, I would think, for sure.
Man, that is awesome, brother. What is your wife? What does your wife think about it, man?
She just stays in the background because she doesn't understand it all, which is fine. She fully supports me, but she's also scared. But I know in the end, it's all going to work out. I'll make it work out. I always have. So, but she's fully behind me.
Explain, scared, like what, and that's normal, right? So nothing bad about it, but what does that look like, and how do you help your spouse? If somebody's out here and they really want to do this, right? And their spouse has objections, or they're thinking, hey man, this isn't the way that I've ever seen things done. This isn't the way that I've been taught to build wealth. Is it some of that stuff right there?
She's just more or less, because it's not your typical put in your head your W-2. You know, she doesn't technically know where the money's coming from to pay the bills. I'm not getting a paycheck every week. It's just a weird structure that nobody's used to, that's never done this before. You're used to that your paycheck coming once a week, every 2 weeks. Here's your money for your bills, you pay it, you got a little bit left to do what you want with, and you move on. It's not the norm, but in my mindset now, it is the norm. And she doesn't follow me like I do every day on you guys, so she just doesn't know it fully. She's got 3 businesses that she runs, so she's trying to keep track of her own stuff, and it's just, it's just where we're at. But in the end, I mean, she 100% supports me. It's just a different way of living until, we put it all together. But, and probably, like we said, probably next year at this time, we could walk away from all of it and just be retired if we really wanted to.
Retire, you go out there, man, you just live off the land, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to, but yeah, we could.
Yeah, you could. I mean, that's the greatest thing. The greatest feeling is that you could.
Yep.
Because then what happens is then you start to live your purpose in life, right? It's hard to live your purpose if you're still chasing money to live, right? And so that's why I said, man, please stay focused. Let's get there. Let's get you to be a multimillionaire. Let's get you to have that $150,000 to $250,000 a year in passive income, and have your assets growing another $200,000 to $300,000 a year. You're making that $400,000 to $500,000 a year, and paying little to no taxes because of the way that the tax code is set up, to help real estate investors. And then you can think about your next step, man. But please just stay focused, brother. You're gonna have bigger things, maybe this, maybe that. It's like you're doing really well, bro. Just, man, stay focused, and you're gonna crush it. So if you can tell, if you got somebody out here right now, plenty of people watching, and they're thinking, man, I just don't know about real estate. I don't know how to get started. I don't know if it's for me. And they're really like, most of America, man, they're tired of working their job. They can't get ahead working their job. They actually get behind working their job because they're getting a 3 or a 4% increase in wages, but inflation is 5, 6, 7, 8%. It just doesn't work, man. Their buying power in their buying power is going down every year, and their quality of life is going down. And so the only thing they can do is work more time to even keep up. But eventually that's just not going to work, man. What would you tell somebody out here watching right now, how they can get started? Like, if you knew what you knew now, what would you do different?
Well, if I knew what I knew now, I would have started directly out of high school. But my first thing would be, if you're on the fence, just jump over it. I mean, you got to get over that first hurdle. If you don't jump, you're never going to start. And then from there, to be honest, I would join your academy, because it's the best thing that's ever happened to us. I know there's a bunch of academies out there, but this academy is way different. I mean, once you're in this academy, your family, there's everything that you possibly could need to know in there. I knew nothing 9 months ago. I knew zero about real estate other than I owned my own home, and that was it. I jumped in, and now I know so much about it. It's crazy. I know there's way, way, way more to know, but if I don't know, I know where I can find it. So
Chris, just give me an example of what you know that most people don't know about real estate.
Well, probably the first thing that I know that a lot of people don't know is, just like I said earlier, is the hard money. The average person doesn't know that you can buy 10 houses and not have them under your name. So the first thing I found out was hard money. Once I found hard money, the door is kind of open from there. And then if you put private money with it, there's zero money out of your pocket. So that was a big thing for me, because we didn't have the money to even start this.
But what about the people that are saying, oh yeah, but my debt to income or my taxes, right?
Oh yeah, well that with the DSCR loans on the back end, then the DSCR loan, when you cash out refi, those don't go against your credit or your anything personal. So they don't affect any of that. They're going based off that.
But they don't even ask for that. They don't even care. They don't even ask for your tax returns. Debt to income is not a thing. Look, you guys got to understand what Chris is telling you right now. You can do it. You can.
Sure can. 100%. If I can do it, you can do it. You just got to jump. I'm
And I
telling you,
tell
that's
everybody
it.
that gets into our private group, 5 years, I can show you how to retire and become a multimillionaire. Now, Chris, when you first heard me say that, did you believe it?
Yes and no. Like my wife always says, I believe people too much. But I knew I could do it because when I start something, I'm going to go 110%. I mean, I'm not going to fail. So I did believe that long as it was true, which once you get in there, it is all true. I knew I could do your path in 5 years, 100%, and I'm going to do it faster. But
how was the
yes.
first week when you came in? Because like when you get in that community, it's a different level, different vibe. Like how was that?
My week was probably different than most because literally my first week after I joined was the big Cincinnati meetup. And I just got in the car and said, screw it, I'm going. My wife's like, all right, let's do it. So she watched the kids. I got in the car, I booked a hotel room, and I come down there. And I've met so many people from there that I'm all different states that I talk to daily, just from that first meetup. But once you just start going through the lessons and stuff through the academy, you can tell, I mean, this is on another level.
And man, I got a third version that Jarius is working on, brother. This one is going to blow your mind. It is, we always want to just, like for me, man, I'm always like, how can we make it better? And I listen to people, and so the accountability coach and these city groups, the being able to get your questions answered literally 24 hours around the clock, all the bankers and funding, but the biggest part of our whole community is people like you. It's the people. It is.
Appreciate it.
It really is, because I'm in 4 masterminds, brother, and I'll tell you what, they got great information in there. But the biggest thing that I get is a network. Like you plug me into a network.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that's everything.
That's everything.
The
knowledge is great, but now you're around 1,000 people with the same knowledge, thinking on the same frequency. And that right there is what really, for me, when I join a network, and I'm telling you guys, man, if you guys want information on what we're talking about here, it's Burr Invest Academy, and, Chris, 9 months, built $500,000 net worth. And he says it was because he joined the academy, but ultimately it was because he took action. There's a lot of people that join the academy. Some of them get $500,000 or $1 million in a year. Some of them, it may take longer. It doesn't matter. Like we got one of our city presidents, Greg Burks, and he was in 3 years before he bought his first property. But it doesn't matter. The journey doesn't matter. What matters is that you make progress every day. And like I said, it's people like you, Chris, that inspire other people, that share information. Like even this podcast here, there's somebody out there that's listening that's been thinking, man, I can't do it because of something. And I believe what you've shared with them has inspired them to do it. And it's the thing, jump over the fence. Now, do not jump over the fence without knowing what you're doing. Know what's on the other side of that. Know what the DSCR looks like. Know what ARV is. Know what how construction is ran and how much you should be paying. Know how much money you're going to put in and how much you're going to get back out. Those things. Have you done any deals yet where you haven't been able to get all your capital back out?
I did one, and the only reason it happened was because I originally was going to flip it, and we put it up for sale, and it didn't sell. So they would not appraise it any higher than I had the last for sale for.
Oh.
So I had about 14,000 stuck in it. But the only good thing is my other one that I had finished with it in Freeland, I was able to pull almost 70 out of that one. So, I mean, it covered everything I needed. So there's a little bit of money over there, but the other house covered it, and then, do it again in a year or whatever, and I can get it back. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, now when he says he's able to pull 70 out, that means he got all his initial capital back out, plus 70 grand, and that money is not taxable because it's a loan. This is what the wealthy people do. They do not want to make income. They want to have assets that they can borrow against, because that money that you borrow against becomes debt for the property and cash for you, and it is not taxable.
Right.
And I am shocked that we are not teaching kids this in high school. I am shocked that we're not teaching them this, man.
My daughter, she has a side candle business that she does that's gone very, very well. And she helped me on the last project, and she told me she wants to save her candle money up for her first down payment for a rental. So I said, well, you keep saving and we'll make it happen. So she's already got the same mindset kind of going that she wants to do this also moving forward. So
yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, Chris, man, anything else that you want to share with anybody out here? What's dear to you with sharing to others?
I mean, I just want people to know that you don't have to be stuck in your day-to-day grind of basically going nowhere. I was in it for 20 years. I mean, you just get by. You're just living day-to-day to get by every day, and that there is a better option, and you just have to get some knowledge and pull that trigger. And once you do, I mean, you're not going to look back. And once you get in here, there's somebody that'll help you no matter what. I try and help. I'm not in our Detroit group in Michigan here. I try to help everybody I can. Wherever I can, it's just giving back wherever I can, because you guys have helped me so much. So now I'm just trying to pass it on. And I'm only 9 months in. I mean, 10 years from now, who knows where we'll be, you know?
Well, Chris, you said something that if you would have got in on a high school, I mean, you'd probably be worth you'll be worth well over $100 million today.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so people don't understand the type of wealth that you can accumulate over time really quickly. And that's why I got my son dropped out of high school.
Right.
And here's why. Because he had one class left. And they told him, you got to come to 4 classes. He said, Dad, I got an English class left. They make me go for 4 to 5 hours a day. I'd rather work on my real estate journey. And I said, and he said, Dad, I said, well, go put a business plan together. And he said, Dad, I want to be a millionaire in 9 months. And I said, okay, well, what's that look like? And he showed me, he said, I'm going to have to do 8 really good deals or 14, 8 great deals or 14 good deals. Right. So he's on his second deal. He's on a second month here. Well, he's on his third month now. He's about 60, 70 days in today, actually. Got his first one done, $150,000 in equity. That one should be rented out by the end of the week. We got a bunch of people interested in that. He'll be able to cash out about 180 to 190 and still hit a 1.2 debt service coverage ratio, which will leave him, because he thought he was going to get 2,200 in rents, but we rented it for $1,995. So he'll be able to service debt at about a 1.2. Today at 12:30, I want you to join our coaching call if you can. We're going to show you how to do a tax abatement. Christos is going to show Caden how to do the tax abatement on that property. So instead of his taxes being, I don't know what it would be, $6,000 a year, they're going to be $1,500 a year, which is going to. I need to do that on my one property that I told you that I had a little money left in, because they're ridiculous. Well, we're going to be teaching you guys how to do that today on a 12:30 coaching call. Hey, Chris, man, I'm really proud of you, brother. I can't wait to see you at the next event. We're going to have 2 or 3 meetups next year. How was that meetup, man? How was the energy, brother? The meetup was awesome. I would definitely highly recommend if people don't get to those that they need to. I was unable to make free. We throw those. I mean, that one costs us $30,000, $40,000. We pay for that out of pocket because we believe that, for us, man, it's the students. We want them getting together, man. It's worth it, 100%. Yeah, it's free for all of our students, man. And 90% of the people there are students. We don't really advertise anybody else. But we do that for you guys, man, because all that you do to give back, man. Man, I love you, brother. Thank you so much. Tell the wife, and tell the family I said hi, man. And I can't wait to see you at the next meetup, brother. I'll be there. Thank you for having me. Thank you for coming on, man. Chris Wagner, everybody, man. He's doing amazing things, even though he isn't an OHIO fan. That's okay. The Lions. Yeah, man. I love. Hey, I got me a Barry Sanders jersey in there, man. I love the Lions. Yeah, they're good. We're finally got a decent team this year. So what did you guys score? 52 points this week? Yeah, it's exciting to watch. Michigan's the other way this year, but it is what it is. Yeah, well, we'll see, man. They play Ohio State last game of the year, and hopefully we demolish you guys. If you don't, I would be surprised. Well, I own a hotel right up there by it, so I was checking last night. They were like, yeah, we're selling it $269 a night right now. So if you want to come down to that game, let me know. I can get you a hotel for free, brother. Okay, I appreciate it. All right, thanks again, man. Appreciate you, man. I'll see you around, brother. Let me know if you need anything. Brother. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye. Yep, you too. Bye-bye.